Welcome back. As we have promised at the beginning of the show that today we are going to talk about the body language. What is the body language? What is the importance of the body language and what does it tell about the person himself? And to shed more light about the body language, we are very much delighted to have with us in the studio Dr. Heba Nayef, the Vice Dean of Instructional Affairs, College of Language and Communication. Good morning, Dr. Heba.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Heba. First, tell us what is meant by body language and the kinds of body language.
Okay, we know that, and you are probably the people who master body language as broadcasters and presenters and so on. Ways of communication are differentiated or are sort of divided into two things.
Yes.
Verbal communication, this is the words we are saying, and non-verbal communication. Under non-verbal communication lies the body language, the facial expressions, the hand gestures, and the tone of the voice itself. And within these two types of messages, sometimes there's a conflict, sometimes they are harmonizing together. So people started to think about body language in order as a means of communication, a means in which you deliver your message. It helps you to deliver the message better. And if we go back to the beginning or the roots of the body language, it's, as we say, there's nothing new under the sun at all. Ancient Egyptians, they knew the importance of body language.
How did we know that they knew about that, Dr.
You can take a look at the temples and the drawings. The way they represented women, the way they represented foreigners, the way they represented the king, it always has a body language. There's a message from the body language itself. For example, this praise movement, you will find it in almost all temples. The position of the woman, you will find that in Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom, the woman is next to her husband, and she is actually stretching a hand, an arm, sort of supporting him. There's a message. They are delivering here a message. The presence of Nefertari in the field, in the battlefield with Ramses II. This did not happen, but it was a sort of an existence that they say they knew the importance of the image, and the image, the tool of the message for the image is the body language. How you depict the person, how tall, how short, how important, and so on. But these are the ancient Egyptians. The Arabs, they talked volumes about the body language and the eyes. You know, there is a saying, some people say it's for Imam Ali radiallahu anhu. Some others, they say it's for another poet that says that your eyes have told me عيناك قد دلت عيناي منك على أشياء لولاها ما كنت تبديها. It means that your eyes have told me things you wouldn't have said verbally.
Yes, indeed.
And then we have the famous Gibran, Khalil Gibran, who advises people in Sand and Foam, in his book Sand and Foam, and he says, listen not to what the man says, but listen to what he doesn't. When you are talking to a person, pay attention to what he doesn't say, and it's depicted in the body language. In the modern era, we have this, renowned scientist, Albert Mehrabian, in 1971. He wrote the famous book Silent Messages. And since Albert Mehrabian, everybody, especially in the field of business, started to talk a lot about body language in, as you were mentioning before the episode starts, about presentations in business. Presentations and how important it is. Albert Mehrabian came up with a very strange statistics. He says that what we say constitutes 7% of the importance of the message, and the 93% is on other factors. 55 is based on your body language, and 38 on the tone of the voice.
The tone.
Yes. And since this study, everybody started to write that it's a fact. They took it as a fact. Nobody questioned, not the statistics, because it's probably a true study, but the context itself. Albert Benign was talking about, chunks of words, okay? He was not talking about separate words, the importance of separate words. And when you take separate words, they are not that important, okay? So since Albert Merbein, people started to lay a lot of attention to body language.
So can body language be deceivable?
Yes, if you master it. It's important. I'm not saying here that body language is not important, but I am questioning the degree of importance.
Yes.
I mean, it's always the word which matters, as in the internet. The internet, there's no body language most of the time on the Facebook. So what really grabs your attention, other than the visual, of course, but it's always the text. You were saying, can it be deceivable? Yes, of course, if you master it. We have two types of, we are going to talk about now non-verbal messages.
Yes.
We have two types of non-verbal messages. We have the open gestures, and we have the closed one. And if you are clever enough, you are going to study how to use it. The open gestures, do you know when we talk about women intuition, we say that you sense something.
Yes.
It was not said, but I sense it. This is body language, okay? We are good, women are good at recognizing, it's a fact, we are good at recognizing these things. So, for example, if you sit all the time doing like this, we call this a closed gesture.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, in a normal way.
Yeah.
This means that you are not open to whoever talking to you. You are closing, defending.
Yes.
When you have these open gestures, it's more friendly. There is this saying in the business field that if you are asking your boss for promotion, and he started to button his jacket or go a little bit further, this means that you will probably get a no.
Yes.
Okay, so always you need to know and read the body language. In politics, it's very important.
Yes, indeed.
Now this is a field in which body language talks volume, because it says lots of things. And usually, journalists, after press conferences, they do not just, sort of analyze the discourse. This is what I do, analyzing the discourse. There are other people who start to analyze the body language. And I remember there was the famous body language move done by Amr Moussa, our foreign minister.
He was mastering body language?
Yes, a master of body language. Gamal Abdel Nasser.
Yes.
A master of body language. There are
Is it a kind of diplomacy as well, Dr. Heba, to master our body language, and how can we train ourselves to do so?
If you're talking about political figures,
yes.
I think they ought to have, if they do not have, I mean, some people are really talented,
yes.
but they ought to be trained on body language. The way they stand, for example, the way they talk, the way they handle their hands. Sometimes in politics, a shake hands is sort of a symbol of power. I was telling you about, I will give you examples. First of all, Amr Moussa. I remember he was Egypt's foreign minister, and there was a press conference. And Amr Moussa, when the Israeli prime minister started to talk, he didn't do anything. He took a step back and put his hand in his pocket. Newspapers talked about it. This is a sign of rejection.
Yes.
They talked about it as a sign of rejection. The eye contact in Gamal Abdel Nasser's most powerful body, part of his body was the eye contact. And he was a master of...
The look.
Yes, master of the walking itself. the way he walked. There is a walk that tells you this is a man of authority and of power, and that everybody around him, whether they are ministers, presidents, kings, whatever, they are followers. He's on the lead. This is the body language. You know, there is a famous story, again, in the literature of body language, there's a famous image. I wanted to bring it to you today, but somehow I did not. It's between Clinton, Rabin, and Yasser Arafat.
Yes.
Okay. With the peace treaty. Usually in politics, a person who is shaking hands, the person whose hand is facing the camera is the man in power. Okay. So Yasser Arafat was not in this position. Rabin was in that position. So there is this sign, what will Yasser Arafat do? I mean, this shaking of a hand would show that who is in the powerful position. Rabin. Yasser Arafat was a very intelligent person, a master of body language.
Yes.
He pulled the hand of Rabin a little bit. So it showed that Rabin is going into the direction of Yasser Arafat, and he solved the problem. So the image, instead of an image that would enhance the power of Rabin, it came up that it showed that Yasser Arafat is the one who is in power, in the powerful position. So actually, this is on political issues. There's this saying that if you are giving a press conference to the people, you should stand up. Some politicians in Egypt, they do not do this. They do the press conference seated.
So there is a controversy whether body language is universal?
Of course it is universal. I mean, body language, it does not differ. It's the universal language. It's like music. You will understand it. I mean, these political things I was talking about,
it's universal.
It's definitely, because come think of it, you will see the hand of the person is shaking. You will see that he is the one in power. Okay, so this is universal. Lying on the individual level, body language, you can count on it. I myself, if I have some person who is saying very nice words to me, this is the verbal, and his body language is saying otherwise, I would go for the non-verbal message, because the people are not trained to lie, okay? And the non-verbal sort of betrays the person, right? So I'll give you an example. They say there are 3 things you would know that if a person is lying.
Yes.
I did number 1, touch
Like
of
this.
the nose, touch of the ear, touch of the eye, okay? I do touch my eye a lot, but I have an eye surgery, okay? So when you see a person, you have to know. I mean, I'm the one who's touching the eye a lot, but this is because of my eye surgery.
Yes.
But a person, you will take it, I mean, inside the context itself. For example, Clinton, in the famous incident in which he was investigated and, cross-examined by the Congress, he touched his ear 26 times in
26.
Now that's it's like, you know, the monkey that says, I do not see, I do not hear, I do not smell, I hear nothing, I smell nothing. These are the symptoms of liars. And whoever is trying to not to evade the truth, you will find the person saying, doing like this. If a person, this is on the individual level, this means that he is preparing the answer. It's not a spontaneous one, so you cannot count on it. Okay, this is on the individual level.
Yes.
But on the political level, I mean, there should be courses taught for how to master
But as you have
the body
mentioned,
language.
Dr. Heba, that Clinton, of course, he was well trained, yet he did
was
not
under stress.
succeed to evade the
He was under
hiding
stress.
that. Yep.
He was under stress. A lot of stress would. Body language is something that would definitely betray any person under stress.
It's hard to control.
Yes, unless you are well prepared. In a situation like Bill Clinton's, he was not prepared for the questions. I mean, any question can come up. with. Any person can come up with any question.
So it reveals a lot about a person's personality.
There are people, it's like, you know, translation. Talented translator and translator who really start to know or to get trained.
Yes.
Script writers, people who take courses in script writer, and somebody like Osama Anwar Aukesha never took a course. It's a matter of talent. But nowadays, the problem is that in the business field, this is what I really stress, is that in the business field, they all the time count a lot on the body language, not the message. This is not 100% correct. I mean, this is really not correct at all. It's a myth. This 7% thing is a myth because it's always what you say, what really counts, what really grabs the attention of the person, not what or how you are saying. It's important how you are saying.
Yeah.
That's why God says that في البدء كان الكلمة. This is Jesus Christ, the word. It's always the important, Sayyidina Muhammad, اقرأ, read.
Yes.
It's the importance of the text, the written text, not just the how. Of course, somebody like Ali ibn Abi Talib was a very talented person in this. I mean, when he gives a speech, people listen. Okay,
Indeed.
that makes a difference. Like, as we said, Gamal Abdel Nasser. I want you to take a look at the pictures or the photos of Gamal Abdel Nasser while walking with Arab leaders.
Indeed, yes.
Okay, Dr. Heba Nayefhebbe, Vice Dean of Instructional Affairs, College of Language and Communication, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Heba. Always a pleasure, of course, and always talking to you about very interesting topics
Thank
is
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you
And
very
of course, we'll have more episodes about these body language topics. And our dear viewers, with that, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show. You were in the company of my dear colleague, Shireen Aiden. Thank you very much,
Thank
Shireen,
you,
and myself, Maisti Rabia. Till tomorrow with another crew. It's goodbye.